guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen my face yet, it belongs to me, Sophie, whatever you want to call me. But today I'm going to show you the books I plan, or at least I want to read this fall. Am I rocking the red lip? Does it look good on me? I don't know. I'm trying new things. I am 17. I feel like it's acceptable for me to wear red lipstick. I don't know. Taylor Swift does it. So if Taylor Swift does it, I want to do it. There are quite a lot, and I know I'm not going to be able to read all of them. But if I want to read something, this is my list. This is where I'm going to pick up the book from. It's starting off with books that I have, like the physical copy of it. I want to read A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, which I was planning to read on July. It didn't happen neither on July or August, but I'm just putting it on my fall TBR because I really want to start this series. This series is so popular, and it's a fantasy one, but it has romance in it, which is, I feel like, the perfect start to fantasy. So I want to read at least the first book from the Qatar series. Then finally, I want to read Verity by Colleen Hoover. I haven't read this book. I've had this book since last fall because I planned to read it on the spooky season. I ended up not doing it, so I want to read it this fall. Basically, I think I know nothing about all of the books I'm going to talk about, but I feel like this one is from a writer which is called Verity, and she can't write anymore, so she hires a writer to finish her story, or someone from her family hires a writer to finish like Verity's story. I think that's the plot, but I'm not sure. I've heard it's very spooky, and that I might not want to read this in the dark or at nighttime, so yeah. Then I want to read The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This book was once so hyped, and so I decided to buy it. I'm not sure what it's about, but I feel like the main character's name is Nora. She has been going through a lot of hard stuff, and then the Midnight Library is basically a library which has all of the possible scenarios of her life and stuff, and then by the end of the night she has to choose either dying or staying alive or something. But I feel like this one is going to be quite a heavy one, but I want to read it because it's very different from everything else I read. And then the rest of the list, I'm going to tell you. I have A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. I bought it on my Kindle. It was like really cheap on my Kindle, and I know it's fantasy, and I know it has like romance in it. I know nothing else about it. I feel like it's so bad to like know a lot about the books, which most of the books I read in the past, they were like that. I knew everything about it because I saw like YouTube TBRs or YouTube wrap-ups or on Book Talk. So then I have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, which is a mystery book, and it gets recommended to a lot of people who like One of Us is Lying, which I love. I think it's a story of a girl in high school who has a really simple life, but she's going after like this specific like murder. I think it's more than one like murder, and then she has a podcast. I've heard people saying that it's really good, like the last book is the best one, which gives you motivation to keep continuing the series. So I want to start this series this fall. At least I want to read the first book, and I think I'm going to do it because I want to read this book, and I have been wanting to read this book for a really, really long time now. Then I want to read, finally, November 9 by Colleen Hoover, which has so many mixed reviews. But I think this is the story of Van and Fallon. I already know the character's name because I've heard so many things about this book. They meet every November 9 and they don't contact each other the rest of the year. It's just this day that they spend together. Then I want to read Two Can't Keep a Secret by the same author as One of Us is Lying, which is Karen M. McManus. I've read One of Us is Lying and One of Us is Next. I loved both books, so I want to read Two Can't Keep a Secret because it seems really interesting, at least for the cover, because I know nothing about the plot. I haven't read like the back of the book or something. I just want to read another book from this author because I love both of the books I read from her. I want to read Most of All You by Mia Sheridan, which I want to start with like the worst Mia Sheridan books so I can get to Archer's Voice, which is every single booktuber and book talker favorite book. Like, everyone loves this book and it has been on my TBR for so long, but I don't know why it's so expensive to ship to Portugal, and I don't find it on any like physical like bookstores here in Portugal. So I'm waiting until I get my hands on this one. But meanwhile, I plan to read the books that Mia Sheridan has out. So I'm going to read Most of All You because it's really, really cheap on my Kindle. And I think this is a story of like two people who are really broken, and the main girl character is having like a lot of actual fucked up problems, and she's like a stripper, and this guy goes to the strip club, not as like a creepy way, but like, I really need help with intimacy and stuff. I don't know what he's going on, but it's really dark. I really need help with intimacy, and I think you could help me. Like, they fall in love or something, which seems really interesting for me. Yeah, then I have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, because I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo this year and I fell in love. 5 out of 5 stars, one of my favorite books ever, and everyone raves about Daisy Jones and the Six because it's a bit from the 70s, but this book is interview style, so you're reading an interview such as The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and basically it's Daisy and the Six, and it's being turned into a TV show, and it involves a lot of hard topics, and it's like explaining the band stories, and I've heard it has music on it, like original music in the book. Then I have It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, because It Ends With Us is like one of my favorite books. I fell in love with it instantly after I read it, and I'm so excited for It Ends With Us. I've been waiting since it was announced to read it. It's basically the story after It Ends With Us. So Lily and Atlas, after It Ends With Us, basically, if you haven't read It Ends With Us, without spoiling it to you, you meet Lily, which is like the main character, and then she meets Ryle, and they fall in love instantly. But then one day she goes to this restaurant and Atlas is there, and she's like, oh shit, he's here. And she has had like this romance with Atlas in her past when she was a teenager. It was her first love and stuff. So It Starts With Us, it's basically her story with Atlas after It Ends With Us, which is so disappointing. I thought it would be before It Ends With Us. I really wanted to see that, but of course I'm going to read it because I love Atlas. Specifically, I love their relationship, but like Atlas, I love him. Then I want to read Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, because this freaking book has been on my TBR for so long, and it just gives me Falls vibes, so I finally want to read it. It's so hyped. I've never heard one person saying that they don't like this book, so I really want to read it. And I think it's childhood best friends to haters to lovers, which is basically the infinity between us, which I loved. Everyone raves about this book, and I want to read it. Then we have Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, which is a book that just literally starting to get super famous last month, and people are saying that this is like Gossip Girl in a book, which is they are rich and it's toxic. And I know, but I'm all here for it. I've asked like the specific person like I follow on Instagram, Maggie, and like we talk a lot about books and stuff, and she was reading it and I was like, is it worth it? And she was like, it's very toxic, but I'm liking it. And I was like, I just needed to get your opinion on it because I really want to read it. I have it downloaded on my books app on my phone, and I think there are 2 or 3 books out. I think there are 3 books out. Steph read it and she liked it, so yeah. Then I literally searched on Google fall books because I have been craving so much the fall aesthetic, like pumpkin spice lattes, red lipstick, Red Taylor's Version by Taylor Swift, like reading and drinking tea. I've been craving that aesthetic so much. So I went and literally searched fall books or books to read in fall. Almost all of them have autumn in the title. So the first one I want to read is It Happened One Autumn by Lisa Kleypas, which I know nothing about, but it seems like so good. Like people that fall in love in autumn, I'm here for it. Then I have Autumn Getaway by Jennifer Grayson, which from the title, because I know anything about it, from the title it seems like someone who is trying to get away from something. The girl main character is trying to get away from this relationship that ended and she's really sad, so she gets away in the fall time, and I think she falls in love again with like other dude or something, and I'm here for it because it sounds like those cheesy movies that I love that everyone hates, so yeah. And then I have The Bookshop on Autumn Lane by Cynthia Tennant, which seems so good. Like, this seems so good, like books. So probably someone works at a bookshop or something, or like the couple meets in the bookshop, and I just want to read it so much because I really want, like, as I was reading every title, this one just popped up and I was like, this seems like my shit, so yeah. Then I have The Sweetest September, which I don't know the author's name at all. I just saw the cover and I was like, and I know nothing about it either because I just want to go into it blindly, because when I go into it blindly, that's when I most like the book. I want to read Autumn Skies Over Ruby Falls, which I don't know the author's name too, but like the cover seems actually super childish, and I think it's part of a series, so I don't know, I just want to read it. But I don't know if I'm actually gonna read it because I have a lot of autumn books already to read, and this one is the one I'm most like, it just seems like a child's book. I don't know if I want to read it. And finally I have Autumn Lights by Aurora Ray, which I don't know, it's a romance novel, another one that happens in like the fall time. So yeah, these are all the books I plan to read. I have my Halloween like break, and then I have my Christmas break, so I have time. I have time to read these books. Hope you guys got some like recommendations for your TBR, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'll see you guys on my next one. Love you guys. Bye.